And hello, Wolverine fans, and welcome to Wolverine Chat, Big Ten Championship Edition. I love being with you guys. What a season! What a 3 year run, and what a 2 year run. I mean, 38-1 in the up through the Big Ten. Then you add a couple losses in the championship game. They're 38-3. But um, I was at the game. Uh, I'm gonna admit it wasn't uh, the most exciting game. I had a lot of fun in the Big Ten. I don't know if they call it Big Ten Experience or Big Ten something that they have for everybody's attending. So me and Trina went into that, enjoyed it, did some Dr. Pepper quarterbacking, and of course I hit all the spots. It was so impressive. uh, uh, yeah, I was impressed with myself anyhow. But it was fun. Uh, we were there early. We went into town probably around 11 or 12. We had a nice breakfast at Connor's, um, hung out. We went to all kinds of different things around the city, just enjoyed it. Saw so many wonderful, beautiful Michigan fans, some Iowa fans. And I tell you what, a shout out to some of the Iowa fans, some of the nicest people I've ever met. And you can compare them to some of the OSU fans, and it just blows them away. They're just classy, nice, good people, and I wanted to say that. I had a wonderful opportunity to talk to Mr. and Mrs. Enter over at the hotel as they were getting out of the van. Just what nice people. Just talk to me like we've known each other for years. And the truth is, we've known each other for minutes at the time. But they answered questions about Zach, told me that he was going to be, captain. So I knew that before. I think a lot of other people um, didn't know he was going to be for sure taking the award if they won. But what a nice gesture from Michigan and Jim Harbaugh. And he wasn't going to talk to Petitti. What the guy is just a joke. Did you see his face? He just didn't say congratulations, but that's another story. But and Harbaugh was not really terribly excited, and I don't blame him. Why would you want to really talk to that guy? So he, it was probably for the best, but he just couldn't even say thank you. He scooted out with his tail between his legs and was gone. So, but as far as the game, we'll talk a little bit about the big controversy with Florida State not going to the Final Four. I don't know how y'all feel. Of course, I'd rather play Penn State than Alabama. I'm not one of those guys that say it doesn't count if you don't beat, Georgia or, you know, they've earned. Michigan has earned, and I don't need to have better competition. I mean, it's fine. Alabama, we're going to beat Alabama, but I'm just saying Florida State, they deserved it. Are they one of the best four teams? Probably not. Clearly not. But the, I know it's college football, but listen, we're going to talk about that later. Let's go back to the game. What can I say? You take a couple plays away. The biggest play was Samai Morgan, of course, running 70 yards to the 3, 4, 5 yard line. What a run! He made a couple guys miss in the beginning, and that guy's fast. He can fly. Um, and we watched him go. I thought he was going to make it all the way. He deserved the touchdown, but they brought in um, Blake. And when you're within 5 yards, you're going to get the touchdown. Just give it to Blake. If he doesn't get it the first time, he'll get it the second time. So that was great. Um, JJ wasn't bad. He was accurate. Again, 22 for 30. Not a lot of yards. Pass didn't go downfield. The one, he would have had a big yard, but Loveland dropped that thing. I don't know if he was gone, but he was going to run for 20, 30 yards, and that was a big drop. And so that wasn't great, but he played well. But, yeah, it could be Zach Zinter being gone because the pressure was on. One time, I wish, because of that, I wish it had done more designed run plays with JJ, um, rollouts, pass plays that, the option, the RPOs, because that's when he's best, when he's able to roll out to the right and see if he's going to run, see if there's someone to pass, or if he's going to hand off, whatever he needs to do. That's when he's best. Can throw downfield a little bit, kind of throws like, well, he's nothing like Goff. But what I was going to say is, as far as he's best passing when he's rolling out, and that's when Goff is when he does a little play action. So they both do play action. I think JJ's maybe just a little bit better at running than Goff. Okay, that's a joke, by the way. Um, but he had 147 yards. I mean, he wasn't terrible, but I was, yeah, a little concerned about the running game. Of course, it happens. Here's the thing: it was more consistent. So these are the averages for four guys: 4.5, 5.0, 7.0, and 3.2. And you may be surprised who that 3.2 was. That was Blake. Did get two touchdowns, but he was 16 carries, 52 yards, 3.2. Donovan, had a couple decent runs, four carries, 28 yards, 7.0. So that was good. Um, Khalil Mullins, I mean, he was 3 for 50. He came in and he hadn't played a lot. I thought he'd play more this year, to be honest. So I know he's been hurt. And then they bring Alex Orji, and seems once or twice a game, and he usually does something good. I mean, it wasn't great, but he had two carries for 9 yards. Cornelius had that run for one carry, didn't get anything. And in college football, because if you're sacked, it goes against your yards. Where in pros, you can't lose yards. JJ was 6 carries for negative 35 yards, and those weren't run plays; those were sacks. A couple times, I thought one time JJ tripped, and that probably lost him about 12 yards. They were in pursuit, but he just tripped. Another time he tripped after getting a first down. If he had stayed on his feet, how long he could have gone, I don't know. Let me try to remember. A couple other plays that I thought he might have been able to get rid of the ball and didn't. But it is what it is, right? Now again, not a lot of yards, but when it comes to receiving, they had a lot of targets. Cornelius, Colston, Donovan, Roman Wilson, AJ Barner. They used Blake Corum, Payne O'Leary. If you remember Payne O'Leary, they used him in the spring game, and on my podcast, I was there at the spring game, and I said that kid, he was good. He was very impressive. So they had one, two, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. But Cornelius Johnson was obviously the go-to man. 9 receptions, 7.1, 64 yards. Not a ton, but he was consistent. He made a couple of good catches. He laid himself out for that one, but he was just short of the first down. What else? Donovan Edwards had 4 for 19. Um, but here's the thing, and you talk about defense. It's ridiculous. Michigan. Now, I know Iowa. I know their offense. I know how pathetic they are. Um, but still, I don't know how many times they've been shut out. I'd have to look at their thing, but I don't think they got shut out. I may be wrong, but Michigan, they didn't get close. They had the one time because of a botched punt that actually came. Michigan punted from the 15, and it came back 10 yards. They started at the 35 or 40 yards. They just went back on that. Their defense is just a joy to watch. I got to give a shout out to Mikey Sanders still. That guy is a ball hawk. Every time there's a big play to be made or something, he's there. When the ball's loose, he's there. He gets to the quarterback. The guy is just awesome. I love that guy. And he was a good receiver. He was a very good receiver. But what he does on defense, and for him to get that MVP, wow. I was so happy for him, just so happy for him. But sacks, let's see who had one. Braden McGregor, he got that one. Mikey had one. Jalen Harrell had one. Derek Moore had one. Was there just 1, 2, 3, 4? Was there more? I thought there was more, but again, I don't think so. Four sacks, still not bad. So I want to say this. I know it wasn't an impressive win, and they still won 26-0. Okay, let me say this again. All I'm hearing is how bad they played. And in the championship game against a 10-2 team, please don't. Well, it's Iowa. I know that. Okay. I know what the West is. I know how they barely won. I know everything you're going to say, and I agree with you. Nevertheless, it's still a championship game. It's a 10-2 team, and Michigan won 26-0 to make for the second straight season to go 13-0. Think about that. 13. That's I don't know what to say. Yeah, 2021 was such a bad season because they lost one game, against MSU, which they should have won, and we know about that game. But this is something special we're doing, people. Just this is something, and half the games were without Jim Harbaugh because of that horrible thing he did with the hamburger. God forbid, Lord help us. Gave him a hamburger, and we got their signs, and and here's the thing: everybody's like, "Oh, they won because of that." It's allowed to happen. Now, you could say how they got it, maybe. I mean, all that, and that's for another argument for another day. But the fact is, getting the signs is not illegal. Um, and once they found out, this is the best. Michigan State knew about it, knew that they were quote cheating, and what did we do to them? 49-0. Then you went on against Purdue. I don't remember all the scores, but it was like 52-7 or something like that. Who else after that? Purdue. Of course, you had Penn State. I mean, they didn't whip Penn State, but I would say it's fair to say they dominated Penn State pretty well. I never thought they had a chance at losing. I don't think anybody did. Maryland was a little rough there for a while, but they got a 23-3 lead and held on. But again, we didn't really think they were ever going to lose. But that was a little iffy. And then of course Ohio State, again, they didn't dominate them, but they were never. I always thought they were in control. I never thought they were going to lose to Ohio State. It got scary. I'm not saying they could not have lost. What I'm saying is they were never behind. The one time they got tied, and Michigan went right back down and scored, and they were always ahead or tied, and Ohio State was coming after us, and that was without Harbaugh on the sideline. What else can I tell you? Um, it it did get a little slow at the end. I'm not going to kid you. Trina, my fiance, started yawning a little bit. It was. I wish it was a little more exciting, but it got cool at the end. We were down by the field by all the players, but 213 yards, 147 passing. This is what just shocks me. 66 rushing yards, 3.3. That's not a Michigan team that we know. Now we did have 13, first downs, so that wasn't bad. One on one. I want to know what you guys think. So it's the first play from scrimmage, or not first play, first series from scrimmage. We're moving the ball so, not bad. We're moving, getting down the field. It gets 4th and 1. They decide go for it around the 42, right? 43. But what happens is they're offsides, 4th and 6. Everybody thinks they're going to punt, but they don't. They decide to go for it again. And I think it was Colston Loveland that got the first down. It was a pass that he was down on the ground and caught it. First down. They move it again. I don't know. They get it down to the 30-yard line or something like that. And it's 3rd down and 3 or 4, and they get down right close to it. They measure it, and it's just 4th in inches, maybe half a yard. Do you not go for it? I mean, I know it was Iowa, and I know a 3-0 lead. In this case, would have won the game. But people around us were teasing, like, you go for it because that ends the game right there. And it did end the game. But I go for it. Maybe I'm the minority, but I just think on something like that, and I don't like when they 4th and 1, when they do when it's when they snap it in the backfield. I like when you're under center. I don't like the shotgun when it's something like that, because you're 6, 7 yards back. So just get them close, give it to Blake, and let them find 1 yard. They didn't do it, and that's fine. We kicked the field goal, ended up winning. but we had some that the turnovers was the big thing, of course. Um, if it wasn't for that, it would have maybe been a little closer game. But I mean, they had 3 fumbles lost. Here's the thing, but um, they got, the defense. Football is three areas, right? We got offense, defense, special teams. Special teams, I think you'd agree, Michigan did pretty well at. Defense, I think Michigan did not good. I think they were great. They were dominant. Okay, dominant, dominant, dominant. Held them to 23 minutes of possession. Michigan had 30 outs possession them 13 minutes, and that's with a team that got 66 yards rushing. Okay, let's give JJ some credit. At least he hit a lot of those passes, keep the clock going. But I, but the thing is, the defense was unbelievable. The offense wasn't good, but they had 2 out of the 3 um, that did well. 2 of the offense and or defense rather, and special teams. Um, I'm not worried. They're going to get it together. They'll do what they need to do, and they'll be ready. Now let's talk quickly before I leave. I think it's a travesty. I know Florida State is not one of the 4 best teams. I'm not stupid. But is Georgia? Yes. So how is Florida State ahead of Georgia, but Alabama jumps everybody and goes to 4th? The whole thing, and I know next year it changes, but I'm glad it changed because it's kind of worked out for the last 10 years. There's been some controversy, a few things, but never like this. Not when a Power 5 team wins the conference, goes undefeated, and doesn't make it. I just don't understand it. They're gonna get beat. I know all 3 teams, Michigan, Texas, Washington, all would beat them, be favorites. But when you win every game, what was Florida State supposed to do? What could you do other than win? So because their quarterback is out, they're going to take that away from them, like they did. What was that in '77 when Dennis Franklin? You guys probably don't remember this, but when the Big Ten vote, they took us out because Franklin was hurt and they didn't know how his leg was going to be, so they voted Ohio State in. That's just not right. It's not right. If Jeff Goff gets hurt and they, you know, put in, the backup, doesn't matter if they win. No, it shouldn't. And again, I know the pros is different than the college, so don't say, well, it's a totally different thing. Of course it is, and I get that, but I don't like it. Um, am I worried about Alabama? Alabama's a good team. Um, I I see Michigan winning by maybe 3 to 4 points. I think they're what, a 2.5 point favorite right now. I'm sure that'll change. Um, we got that defense, got a good pass defense, and I'll do a whole episode, going over. I did this last year against TCU. I went through every single statistic where they rank nationally on each offense versus defense. So I'll tell you where Michigan ranks on rushing, where Alabama ranks on rush defense and passing, all that stuff. It'll be a long episode, but I'll probably do that about a week before the game, January 1st. But what do you think? You think, are you confident? Are you not confident? Do you think Michigan will win? Um, I love to know what you guys think, but this team just brings joy to my heart. It really does. These guys they are just, like Jim always says, they're on a spiritual journey, um, giving credit to God where it deserves, and that they love each other. And what they did for Zinter, just to see him come out in in on crutches like that to be a captain, that moved my heart. I loved it. Saw so many great people, had so much fun, and I am so excited. We'll do a couple podcasts before then, um, depending what happens and what things are going on. But guys, I love you. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving a couple weeks ago. Merry Christmas is coming up soon, and New Year's, and you all great. Please go to YouTube and subscribe and get those subscriptions up. I'd like to get over 100 here soon. check out the podcast. Tell me what you think. We'll be having a big giveaway here soon. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it'll be coming up. And all you'll need to do is subscribe to do that. And if you subscribe, you'll be in it. So we'll talk about that later. Michigan plays Indiana tonight in basketball. They started out okay, but they've been a little rough lately, and so is Michigan State. So we'll see what's going on. Lions had another close one. They went up 21-0 and almost lost, but you know what? They won. And again, what is it about East Michigan and Michigan? We got a 13-year-old football team, college football team, a 9-3 pro team for the first time, best record since 1962. But we all find ways to complain. People, stop. This is something. This is a great, great year for football, and we love it. Go out and enjoy it. Anyway, go out, do something special for somebody. Shovel it's not snowing yet, but help your neighbor. Help an elderly person across the street. I don't care what you do. Just do something special. God loves you. I love you. And take care. God bless. Go Blue.